Okay. Well, I'm going to get started since it is 8 o'clock and we like to keep these things going on time. So this class is a good class because this topic is always relevant. You know, there's always, even if you're not a parent of a child living in your home at this moment, you're usually, you know, you're in family life at some point, and you don't have to be a mom, but you can still enjoy using essential oils on neighbors, on kids, you know, that like grandkids, like Jackie has a couple grandkids. And Mary has a few. So I want to tell you that this is like my first really powerful essential oil experience was when my son got athlete's foot and I didn't want to have to take him to the dermatologist, and someone told me that tea tree oil could be good, which is our Melaleuca. And sure enough, I was able to avoid like sitting in the doctor's office, getting that copay, buying that tube of whatever, throwing it in the back of the closet. It got rid of his athlete's foot, which is really nasty. So that was one of my first empowering experiences. So we're going to get going here on this slideshow. Oh my gosh, it's not wanting to go. Oh, here we go. Down here, I guess. Where did wellness from plants originate? Well, historically, it was their medicine, you know? So they used plants and herbal remedies to get where they need to go in the ancient times. And so really, we're just going back to that natural way. And why would we want to use essential oils? Well, because the alternative is a synthetic thing that doesn't agree with our bodies. It can end up costing more money, and there can be side effects. I mean, none of that stuff really agrees with us. So on the other hand, like essential oils are just very, very natural. And I started using them, like I said, when I started with my son, and then I just felt empowered, and it just grew from there because I found more and more products that were really helpful with my family members, all being different sizes and ages. So what are essential oils? Well, they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. They're natural and powerful aromatic compounds that are found in the seeds, bark, stems, roots, flowers, and other parts of the plants. And they're extracted and distilled for a variety of health benefits. So you can diffuse them and get very energized. This time of year, diffusing citrus is really energizing and uplifting. You can cool the body with peppermint if you're faced with hot flashes or just a hot Florida day. You can use them to help improve the coughs and colds that everyone seems to be dragging around at the end of the winter, and they're helpful for muscle aches and pains. So, and the thing to note about essential oils is look at all those chemical compounds. I mean, nature makes things that are so complex that we couldn't ever really hope to recreate them. So in lavender, there's like just tons of different complex compounds that will help to work to your emotions, calm irritated skin, relieve burns, and lavender is actually a good antihistamine, so for allergies. So a lot of us, you know, we just know they work, but I want you to know that there is chemistry behind this, and if you're into that sort of thing, yeah, there's a lot of information that we can point you towards. So why doTERRA? Well, ours are just sourced all over the world in better places, and then every step of the way they're tested so that we know they're really pure. Where essential oils can get a bad rap is that if they're not sourced in great places and they're not tested and pure, they can appear to be ineffective. So if you grab something off grocery store shelf, or you know, Bed Bath & Beyond, Walmart, everywhere you see essential oils, you won't find them nearly as effective as ours. And so ours go much further. So a drop or two of our peppermint, a drop of our peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of tea, which I know just sounds crazy, but it's just that we are at a higher standard. So they're like medicinal quality. They're more therapeutic. They get things done. So that's what I really want you to know about doTERRA. It's beyond organic. It's a much better quality. All right, so what we've just done is created a new standard called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, which is abbreviated CPTG, where we know it's pure and safe. There's no fillers, pesticides, foreign contaminants. We send out to a third party that's in for testing, and we go to the places where they grow best, and we create partnerships with the farmers, which is one thing I'm really proud of, is the co-impact sourcing. So what this slide tells you is like, when we get vetiver, for example, we go straight to Haiti and we work directly with the farmers. So we cut out the middleman, so the farmers are paid a really fair wage. And because vetiver, you know, needs like say 10 months, and then the soil needs to rest, they've worked out an agreement where they pay them for 12 months, even though they aren't perhaps needing to farm the entire year. So we provide jobs, education, we've helped water supply. All over the world, we're doing really good work. And that co-impact sourcing is just a key to all that. So what we like to do is think of, what do you want less of and what do you want more of? And in terms of your kids, you know, there's so many possibilities here. So we try to think about using our wellness pyramid to make small changes that prevent big problems. So this is our wellness pyramid, which I think is just so smart that doTERRA has this as kind of our organizing principle. So the bottom, most important, eat right, and then we want to exercise, manage our weight, rest and manage our stress, reduce our toxic load. And at that point, those lifestyle factors, if they don't take care of everything, which they usually do, then you would want to go get some proactive medical care and just get yourself informed on what you can do in other areas to get better, on a better course. So what we're trying to encourage our kids, of course, is to like eat well and not a lot of processed foods. So starting there, even like yogurt, there's just so much sugar in everything for kids these days. Kids are just fed sugar. So we're trying to go straight to the source of food, and it helps. And then so the second part of the pyramid, exercise, less video games perhaps, and more just natural movement outdoors. Sleeping, resting, managing stress, that's a key thing that helps kids that we sometimes take for granted. And because our kids are smaller, they're more vulnerable to toxicity. And I really learned this when my son was like 4 or 5 and we moved into this house and we had an addition going on and there was tons of dust in the air and I was using bleach on the counters and like trying to keep the dust down. And his eczema, you know, went wacko on us and he just had more allergies and asthma symptoms. So this was a real wake-up call for me, and I started trying to create my own cleaning products and that kind of stuff. So kids' bodies are small, and those toxins, they're at a higher rate and higher level because they're breathing faster, and then they can really be affected by toxicity. So here we come to our, you know, for adults especially, number one product is our supplements because they're so high quality and they provide just like that baseline of nutritional support. And what I want you to realize is by buying a kit of the vitamins, either the one with the 3 or the daily nutrient pack, which is the VMZ plus the Z Omega, you can add on the kit stuff for only $25. So, you know, a lot of people notice after being on our supplements, they have more energy, they're more focused, and they just feel better. And if you can do that for yourself and add on the monthly supplements for your kids for only $25, the quality is just, you really can't even believe the high quality of these supplements. So I love the A to Z chewable is a watermelon flavor, and I love adding like a teaspoon of the IQ Mega to smoothies because it's orange flavored and you don't have that fishy kind of feeling. But it's a really high quality fish oil, and it'll help people get that balance better because we all know like you get too much omega-3, too many processed foods, right? And we need to up our omega-3s, so those omegas are really important. Then I also love the PB Assist Junior, and I've heard people use this strategy with their kids where they say, look, if you eat your vegetables or whatever, or if you take your supplements, you can have this PB Assist Junior, which is like Lickamade. It's really, really good. It's very natural though. So, and that probiotic can really help with gut health, which we all know is so important for immune health, for mood, for emotions, for everything. So basically, this is a foundational support for kids, the A to Z, the IQ Mega, and the PB Assist. So nutritionally, that is so important. And sometimes we get so excited about the oils, but I want you to know these products are really, really powerful. So moving on. So 3 ways to use essential oils. The first one is to diffuse, which can be really powerful. It can affect mood, cleanse the air, and support the respiratory system. This time of year, people like to diffuse a lot of citrus, perhaps, because it can lift your mood on these great days. Or like even breathe or On Guard to keep the air clean, and people are fighting respiratory stuff. So that's a possibility. Another thing is to use them topically, and for kids you might want to dilute. But yeah, we have this fractionated coconut oil that stays liquid at room temperature, and it's also just a really nice non-greasy thing that can help things drive in to create better benefits. So the feet are a nice place for topical application for kids.
Lori?
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt and ask everybody to please mute your phones?
Yeah, someone might be.
If you're on an iPhone and you're walking around, we can hear every movement. So if you guys could just mute yourselves, that would be great.
That would be awesome. Thank you. It's better already. I want to say I wanted to get through this and then have you ask questions, because if you ask questions, I might be getting there. So let's do all the questions at the end. And I actually still hear a little bit of feedback. It might be the person on the phone here. 412-916-4607. That's not muted.
Maybe mine's muted and it's not me.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I can hear that too. No problem.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. I don't know what that could be. But anyway, if you want to take them internally, I'm not sure kids would be into veggie caps, but you can just drop them under their tongue or put a drop in water, and that could be really useful. And then, let's see. Okay. Oftentimes, less is more. Like, you don't need a lot. So I'm going to go over a few oils that are always good for kids. And frankincense is, of course, always good for everyone, every time, all the time. So, like I said, a drop goes very far. So you can end up with less aches and pains, less head tension, less feeling stressed and anxious, and more support for the cells, focus, sleep, and immune response. So lemon is really good. Reducing a kid's toxic load. It can also cut some of the mucus and runny nose kind of feeling, giving you drainage and, fighting germs. You can use lemon for kids as like a hand sanitizer. Just put a drop on their hand and have them rub it together. That's always a possibility. And it just helps you with energy, balanced immunity, and it helps move the body towards alkalinity, which we all really need. Lemon's good for focus, I think, mentally. Another oil that I can't say enough about, like I said earlier, is Melaleuca for kids, because you end up with owies, fungus, people with itch and bugs. I know it's a great one also for acne, along with lavender. And it promotes qualities of peace of mind, balanced immunity, and it definitely cleans wounds. So Melaleuca is a great one to have in your first aid cabinet for kids. And then Citrus Bliss is really cool for kids because it kind of has that orange creamsicle kind of feeling to it. So you could, smoothie if you want, but it also just lifts you up. It's just a blend of great citrus and, happiness and compliance is what we're after for most kids. And if you can do it with a diffuser with Citrus Bliss, I mean, I'm all for that. These simple ways of changing the mood of a family, it helps. It definitely helps. Helichrysum is a powerful one for bruising. It helps to reduce bleeding. It's great to have an emergency situation. It's great for kind of the discomfort that people feel after they get some kind of a big scrape. And it also has some nice qualities emotionally. I have to say, my son plays contact sports, and if I'm by the sideline and he ever goes down, I'm running out there and I'm going to dump Helichrysum and frankincense on his head and hopefully take away some of the, concussion kind of feelings, because it's just scary sometimes what kids can do. This one is a really nice, gentle one. When I've heard of introducing essential oils to babies, the first two that I've heard, I should say from birth, that people sometimes put myrrh around the cord because myrrh is known to help prevent infection, and it also they say cuts off generational curses. And so myrrh, and sometimes people put frankincense on the crown when a baby's born. So frankincense or myrrh, perhaps the first two. But after that, I would try Roman chamomile. It's a very, very gentle one for babies, and lavender. I think those two would be my third and fourth. So Roman chamomile is just something about it. When I feel like when I inhale it, I just think it's very calming, soothing kind of sensation. It's just, I love it, and it's just powerful for me. So yeah, if you were thinking that you had a cranky kid, you could put a drop on each foot. And if your kid has the ability to put their foot in their mouth, I would put socks over them, because you just never know. I know some people can, you know, throw that foot in their mouth. So Roman chamomile, though, is a really nice choice for one of the early choices. And then as kids get older and they're working things out, running on fields and growing really fast, Aroma Touch can be really helpful. So that can be really nice for muscle aches and pains. And, you know, giving a kid a massage at the end of a day is a really nice bonding moment. So Aroma Touch is our massage blend, and it smells wonderful. So I would recommend, yeah, if you are gonna want to give, especially, you know, those ages when they're getting older and sometimes they don't always want to cuddle with their parents, it's a really nice option to give an Aroma Touch foot or leg massage. So, and also, as we're all like a little more concerned about Lyme's disease and just being out hiking more, TerraShield is really, really nice. It's definitely that insect repellent without the crazy chemicals. So, and it's very inexpensive too, and a drop can go a long way. So we did sell it in a spray, but you can of course buy the bottle, make your own, and you know, before your kids go hiking, spray them, spray their coats. You could spray the entry to your house to keep the ants out. There's all kinds of really good ways to use TerraShield, and it seems like it's another one you wouldn't want to be without. It's just a really nice, got a really nice scent to it also. So then this one, I just told my son, we are doing this. We are going to put a little Purify on a cotton ball and stick it in his shoes, because we washed his shoes and it just didn't cut it all out. So Purify, I think, it smells so good. It's like lemon, lime, citronella, and pine. And it's just, I think one of those things you want to have in the spring when you're doing spring cleaning. Like if you want to put it in a spray bottle and just spring clean away, it would make the whole task not so onerous. So, and you know, I've heard people, actually they have studies now that Purify is kind of like an On Guard. It's really great for germ protection. You could use it as a hand sanitizer. It's just got some of those same qualities. So instead of a go-to of On Guard, after a while, if you're tired of On Guard, use Purify, because yeah, it can really help. So it's not only like a space cleanser or whatever, but it also kind of helps with cleaning out old emotions. So I do love that one. I think it's really, really uplifting. So we have some kits if you're interested. I know probably on this call people have already enrolled, but I wanted to say there are some recipes here. So while we're doing the question and answer, if anybody has any, I can sort of let these sit here. So here's a sunscreen recipe if anybody wants to write it down. And then slowly I can go over, let me just give you the whole picture here. There's sunscreen, here's an owie spray, here's a hand sanitizer, another owie spray, and how to keep temper tantrums at bay. How to focus, and after sunburns, there's that. So, oopsie, I'm gonna go backwards. So I'm gonna go back to this first one at the start of the recipes and ask anybody if you have any questions, speak up.
Stop.
Anybody have any questions they wanna bring forward about kids?
Well, I have a question about the recipe that's on the page right now. Where do you get zinc oxide from?
Well, I've seen that sold. I think they sell that at natural food stores and also like Whole Foods and stuff. I know I used to put, when I was a lifeguard, I used to put that on. I'm sure you could find it. Anybody have any suggestions for her?
No clue.
They said that zinc oxide is in sporting goods stores for, what is it, lumber?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you see the surfer with a white nose, that's zinc oxide.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anybody else? Anybody have any comments, any questions?
Every day my daughter puts lemon in my grandson's steel water.
Ah, so she puts lemon in your grandson's water bottle? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea because kids do face toxicity, and why not, keep clearing it out. I wanted to mention kids can do the cleanse. It's a bit, there's a few modifications, but I have a PDF for that if anybody would like to learn more about it. I could post it on the continuing ed page because, sometimes like there are root causes to things like eczema and different things that really do originate in the gut, and it can make doing a cleanse for a kid a very helpful thing. So yeah, I can post that in the continuing ed page and you can print it out if you have any interest. So anybody else have any other ideas? Anything they've worked with their kids on that has been really successful?
I have a question about if you're putting lemon in a baby bottle, would the nipple get degraded?
That is a possibility. I thought you said a water bottle. Was it a?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I do think, lemon interacts with plastic is the point Jackie's making. And in fact, pulls petrochemicals and, plastics into the water. So you'd always want to put the lemon in either a glass or a metal container.
It hit her head by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary's grandkids are older.
So that works, yeah. So anybody?
I also wanted to talk about heliochrysum. It's very good for bleeding.
Okay.
So I know like a person on my team has a kid that wrestles a lot. And so every time that, like if he gets a bloody nose, they just put it right on the outside of his nose.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's in this owie spray. The second one has 5 drops of helichrysum, and yeah, bleeding and bruising, it's really special that way. Somehow it works. No. Oh, we needed to hear from a kid, right? That's making this real authentic. So that's good. Anybody else have anything they want to add about this sort of topic?
Yeah, Lori, I was wondering how young you can use Melaleuca. How young, when can you start using it?
Well, I would think you could dilute it pretty early. So I'd have to look up in the, let me see if I can grab that in the Modern Essentials, just a second. Because, when I was using it on my son, he was probably about 6. And I diluted it, and I think I even put like a compress on, so it worked, but let me see. It says not for children under 6 orally, and use diluted for kids over 6. So it also depends like on where you're using it. Like the feet are tougher than some other areas, Like I've seen Melaleuca used a lot for acne on the face, and you'd want to like be very careful. Of course, young kids probably wouldn't be faced with that.
I was thinking of ear infections.
Oh, so basil is really good around the ears, I've noticed. People oh gosh, I just saw something recently about, basil and lavender around the ears.
And that will work on ear infection. Because I know if you put a drop on a cotton ball and just set it in the ear, it's really, really good for older kids. But I wondered, because like our grandson's 2, and he's had a number of ear infections.
Oh, that's so hard. It's so painful. Yeah, I've heard some amazing stories about that. Like she was saying right there with a cotton ball with a drop, you can't really drop the oils right in the ear. That is a definite no-no.
Right.
But
you could do that with a baby. He probably might pull it out anyway.
Yeah, you could definitely put it around the rim, just not in there, and it could get into the right spot.
Yeah. So if you diluted the Melaleuca, like used Melaleuca Touch, you could probably
Yeah,
use
that's
it for
true.
an ear infection. Probably wouldn't, affect the skin too much. You don't think?
No, I wouldn't think so. But
Pretty
for some
mild.
reason, I'm thinking basil for the ears. I don't know. Has anybody else had experience that? I once heard an amazing testimonial about how a woman with a kid with like tubes and like was really going down a tough path. And she compared the cost of all these things, and it was just an incredible testimonial.
Oh.
So on this tear sheet, this one right here, it says for earache, combine 2 tablespoons carrier oil with 2 drops lavender, 1 drop Roman chamomile, and 1 drop melaleuca.
Oh, that's good then.
Okay.
Put a drop on the cotton ball, apply it, like put it on the ear, behind the ear, and on the reflex points of the feet.
So
That's
it was 2 drops. What was the first thing? 2 drops?
2 drops lavender, 1 drop Roman chamomile, and 1 drop melaleuca, and combine that with 2 tablespoons of carrier oil.
Okay.
Yeah, mine Essential of the Earth says 3 drops of basil on half of one side of a cotton ball. Push it lightly into the ear with the oil to the outside, and then place a warm washcloth over the ear and add more basil every 2 to 3 hours. So, yeah, it's good to have different possibilities because, like we know, one thing that works for one person might not work for the other. So hopefully one of those 2 will work for your grandson.
Yeah. Basil is really good for pain.
The basil, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
What does
All
the
right.
next slide say? The
Oh, okay, let me move on here. We'll so the owie roller and then for calming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the homework help?
Oh yeah, the homework helper is right here. 20 drops of peppermint, 20 drops of wild orange. And diffusing those 2, this talks about putting them in a roller bottle, but diffusing those 2 together is also really nice because the peppermint is really good for focus and the wild orange is just kind of uplifting, invigorating. So, and they also say rosemary is good for memory. So that citrus plus the peppermint plus the rosemary could be really good too. Good stuff, all in all. So
I need to go change Sissy's diaper. Okay? I'll be right back.
So anybody else have any questions, comments? Anything on their mind? I do have to say, less is more and you can always reapply. And that seems to work that seems to be a good rule with kids. Because yeah, they're little bodies and they can react very quickly to these and doing things consistently over time when they're getting something's coming on is a really good idea too. So it's really fun to teach your kids to have empowered, ways of dealing with their own health issues. So I think it's a really great way for us to bring the next generation forward, shall we say. So next week, I'm trying to remember if it's the essential science class with Carol. I think it would be. Yeah, it would be the last class. So the password for this class is kids, KIDZ or S, whatever. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate it. It's been.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you, Lori.
Sure thing. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lori.
Yep, thank you. Everybody have a good night. Good to see y'all. Mm-hmm.